Oh, it's you. Oh, hi there. Hey, sorry, I didn't recognize you for a minute. Oh, gosh, it's been a while since we've talked. Oh, it hasn't been too long. It's been a couple of. It's been a room difference, as you can tell. It's the new room. I'm gonna try and start recording from it. The problem with video, like with my camera, is that when the video is not like totally light and there's like a level of darkness, it seems like the video, like, as you can tell, I'm blur. You can't tell how many fingers I'm holding up or anything like that. Whereas back out in my old room, video seemed fine. But there you go. So, but enough about me. Let's talk about The Wages of Fear, number 36, ladies and gentlemen. The Wages of Fear. The Wages of Fear. And once again. Well, actually, I should say. See, there's the thing. This is the thing I just can't stand about Criterion. This is the second movie in a row that we have by Henri-Georges Clouzot. The last one being Diabolique, of course. But the thing is, this one came actually. The Wages of Fear actually came out before Diabolique. So. Yet in the numberings, in the spine numbers, this one comes out after Diabolique. So, it's just kind of weird. I like to do things as chronologically as possible. Only makes sense, especially with movies. You wouldn't. I mean, there's no real reason why you would go backwards. If you're talking about filmography, let's start at the beginning and then go this, that. So why they decided to put Diabolique before Wages of Fear, I don't know. But I can't explain what the wacky people at Criterion do. But I only try sometimes, and tonight is not one of those times because this one was long. I mean, the movie's long, but just the interview. I mean, the reviews weren't too bad. Not as bad as like Seven Samurai or maybe High and Low. High and Low. I mean, the High and Low made up for it for one of the best movies I've seen. Probably the best movie still that I've seen so far in the Criterion collection. But this one I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about The Wages of Fear. So for those of you who haven't seen it, let's give you the Nate Jackson review, the Nate Jackson plot summary thing. So basically, it's about these four guys who have to take a bunch of take 2 trucks of nitrogen, or not nitrogen. I kept calling it nitrogen while I was watching it. Nitroglycerin, to put out this like gas fire or something like that. Which I don't understand how nitroglycerin could put out a fire. I don't get it. I don't quite get it. But I'm not a science guy. But there you go. Maybe that's Bill Nye. That rhymed. Anyway, so we have the 4 guys. There's Mario, who's like a suave kind of guy, with his girlfriend who has the boobs and is actually the wife of Henri-Georges Clouzot, who's actually the woman in Diabolique, who's hecka sexy and all that good stuff. He's actually quite sexy in this movie. When compared to Diabolique, she's just kind of like, she's very prim and proper in that film compared to The Wages of Fear, where she's kind of supposed to be kind of a little spitfire. That's not a bad thing. And then there's Joe, who's this like retired gangster or something, meets Mario and tries to get him to do something. I don't know. His plot point isn't really too clear. Then there's the German guy. No, he's Polish. No, he's German, I think. No, I think he's German, and he's like a Holocaust survivor or something like that. Nazis had him, so he's in. They're all in South America, by the way. They're all in South America because that's where they live. That's where it's happening, apparently. And then there's we got Mario, Joe, the wait, actually we've got the list. And then there's Luigi, who's Mario's friend, who makes some stuff. Wait, I just realized Mario and Luigi. Huh. How freaky. Bimba. Bimba is the German man. Mario, Joe, Bimba, and Luigi. Luigi's kind of a fun-loving guy. He does his thing, and he and Joe don't get along very well at the beginning because there's a famous scene where Luigi wants to listen to music in this little cafe that they frequent, and Joe hates music apparently, which of course meant that I hated him as a character. And so he keeps turning off the radio, and at one point, I guess Luigi is celebrating something, and so he turns on the radio, and Joe's so pissed that he yanks the cord out of the back of the radio so it won't play. And shortly after this, Luigi gets the whole cafe to sing and clap to the song that they were listening to, and they all join in and do it, and he just freaks out and just have a fight. It's crazy, but so they get hired on this kind of suicide mission to travel this nitroglycerin to this fire, to put out this fire, and suicide mission because they've got to travel a lot of terrain, and they've got to travel at the exact speed so that the stuff doesn't go off and they don't kill each other. So they go and they have to travel this weird thing called what does it say on here? The drawbridge or something like that, or the Cat's Bridge or something, some weird name. And then they do that, and then it's just their friendships are tested, and they have to Joe chickens out a couple times, and Mario has to establish himself as a leader over him, even though Mario's much younger than Joe is. Joe ends up breaking down and just crying and freaking out. It's an interesting character structure based on those little scenes where Joe finally has enough, wants to get out. It's almost like he reverts to childhood, so quickly. That's what can happen when you're cramped in this little space and you have to deal with certain situations that are life or death. At one point they have to blow up a giant boulder, and they use some of the nitroglycerin to do so, and because it's in the way, and so finally they make it through. And then finally at one point the truck carrying Bimba and Luigi blows up because they weren't careful, and and then toward the end, see, this one I'll spoil for you. See, Diabolique you gotta see, but this one I don't mind telling you what happened because it freaked me out. And you've probably seen it because you're a genius and you're better than I am, smarter, probably, possibly, maybe better good looking. I like my language. Anyway, so the truck blows up, and so it's just Joe and Mario. At one point they have to cross this swamp, and Joe gets out of the truck to guide him through this really muddy swamp. Ends up submerging at one point, and at one point he actually, this limb, this submerged limb, just comes up and catches Joe's leg or foot, and Mario can't stop the truck. So, and he's screaming his head, Joe's screaming his head off, stop! And Mario just doesn't hear it, and he has to just keep plowing through, because if he stops, then there might not be a way that they could make it through. The truck could be stuck. So he ends up running over Joe's foot and breaking it and snapping it in half, I guess, or something. Not in half, but he drags him. And, once the truck is clear, he drags Joe out of the water, and his foot is twisted to match the direction, perfectly matched the direction of his right foot, I think. So yeah, I think they snapped his left foot was broken. So they drag him into the truck, and he's really doing bad now. I mean, so they're dragging. They almost make it there, and just almost as Mario makes it there, Joe finally dies, and he has to stop the truck and then grieve for a second, and then they go on, and he makes it there, and after the exhaustion, it looks like Mario gets out of the truck and just walks towards the fire and finally just collapses. It looks like he's going to die, like he's going to throw himself in the fire. And I thought that's what was going to happen. Whoa. But no. Plazo had a much more interesting ending planned. Basically, and this is what I should spoil, I'll tell you anyway. So, spoiler alert. I'll clap my hands like this, like we're in the video where you can skip to that part. So anyway, basically, so because they're all dead except for Mario, he gets double the amount of the wages. He gets, I think, $4,000 for doing all that. And so he's happy. And then they report back to the cafe. His girlfriend's happy. I think her name's Linda. Everybody there is cheering. They all have a celebration. And he gets back and he's driving and he's really happy. And he's swerving along on the road. And it was right around this part that I thought, this is too good to be true, because there was like 2 minutes left of the film, and I was like, this is way too good to be true. Like, because I mean, they keep, and then you could tell they kept cutting back and forth quicker and quicker to the Linda dancing versus him driving. And at one point, Linda faints, and at the same time, as he's swerving back and forth on this really slim road, he finally loses his balance and goes toppling over the edge, and the truck is destroyed, is demolished, like broken FUBAR. That's all I can say. And the last thing you hear is an air siren hitting. And I was just like, whoa. Are you kidding me? That's how it is. What a trip. Anyway. So that's where, okay, you can keep watching. If you're just tuning in, this is where I came in, or this is where you can start watching if you don't want to know what the movie ending is like. So anyway, basically, so let's talk about Closeout. Now in this one, I mean, he definitely, his directional prowess shows off. He shows off definitely a lot of prowess in this one. Like mainly from the first scene with the cockroaches. It shows a little boy torturing them, and it's like kind of almost a allegory for the whole rest of the film, you know. It's like how there's always someone ahead of you, or always on top of you, you know, controlling you. Yeah, so there's that, and just like I said, that ending shot, that ending scene, just the way it cuts back and forth. That's the only spoiler I'll give you. There's a lot of cutting back and forth in this scene, for those of you who skipped my synopsis of the ending. And to say nothing, of course, like, you know, shots of his wife, of course, you know, he had to dedicate a lot of nice, like, really cool shots of his wife. And just close-ups of Joe when he's dying. There's a lot of nice close-ups, and just the attention to detail in the actors' faces, as well as like where the action is going. Like scenes, like there's a lot of cutting back and forth with scenes like where they're speeding up and it looks like they're going to slam into the truck ahead of them, and it's like he does that to get your attention. It's like nail biting. It's just like, ooh, your muscles clench and you're just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? You know, that kind of thing. And Clouseau's good at that. He's a good dramatic director. And it shows. I mean, like I said, I've only seen Diabolique, and obviously I know from that he kicks ass. But this one he kicks ass and takes names as far as like dramatics go. And yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, that's all I really have to say about this one. The storyline is brilliant, and yeah, let's give it a grade. I'm giving this one a B plus. I'm giving it a B plus because some of the beginning was a little misstructured. I feel. I think some of it that got me a little confused was the switching back and forth between like English and French, Spanish, whatever, the different dialogues between English and all the other world languages. Because it was like, wait, I'm listening now. I have to wait, I don't recognize that. Because it's like you read subtitles for so long and then suddenly somebody speaks English and it's like, wait a minute, I know that, So that kind of got a little jarring, Especially a scene where, what's his name? The O'Brien is talking to Joe, and O'Brien talks in English, but Joe responds in French, and it's just kind of a little dizzying. It's like, can they pick one language just for this scene, So yeah, that was one little thing. I mean, apart from that, it's just, I was kind of hoping there'd be a little more happier ending, but at the same time, I think it's cool that there's just a really tragic ending. Oh god, more spoilers. But I won't tell you what. You don't know exactly what happens, so there you go. But yeah, I was kind of expecting a different ending. So yeah, it's a B plus. It's not Diabolique. Diabolique was a trip, but that was to come. This was before. Lest you forget, this was before Diabolique. But Criterion does what Criterion wants, I guess. So, anyway, we're almost up to 18 minutes, so let's finish this up. Supplements. Well, we got a lot of supplements. We got an interview with assistant director Mikhail Romanov, which was cool because he gave a little behind the scenes about certain takes and all that, and how many takes and all that, and scenes and blah blah blah. Interview with Henri-Georges Clouseau, biographer Marc Godin. That was kind of boring, even though it was only I think 10 minutes, but still. Interview with Yves Montand from 1988, who played Mario, and that was really cool. Because he was kind of a funny guy. I love the interviews with the actors. I like that, especially the interview with the actor from High and Low, whose name escapes me, Toshiro Mifune. I don't remember. And then there's a 50-minute documentary in French called Henri-Georges Clouseau, The Enlightened Tyrant. 2004 documentary is basically just about him and all his films, and it was kind of boring. And they kept showing the characters' names, the people's names at the bottom, like we would forget them. And then finally, probably one of the most interesting things is a little feature called Censored, an analysis of cuts made to the film for the 1955 release. I guess when it came out in the States, they cut about 20 minutes or so of the film. And some of it they censored some of it because of I guess anti-Americanism and possible touches of homosexuality, which I saw a lot of in the film, and I thought, that's kind of interesting, say nothing of cutting out almost an entire. I guess they cut out an entire character, which I was really confused about to begin with, but at the same time, cutting him out kind of, when I saw those scenes, I thought that kind of brings a lot more to the movie, his name Bernardo or something like that, and yeah, cutting him out, I think really, probably just made we just suck as a country. That, or we sucked, I guess nowadays it doesn't matter really, but whatever. All right. Well, I think that's all I got for you, because we're up to 20 minutes now. So, Wages of Fear. It's a good one. It's a good one. You gotta see Wages of Fear. I'd say watch them in order. Watch Wages of Fear before you see Diabolique, because I mean, just because you get Wages of Fear, you get a good sense of Clouseau as a director, and then you get a good sense in Diabolique. You get a good sense of him as a director as well as a storyteller. You get 1, and then you get 2. So yeah, B+. Good movie, not Diabolique, but still, check it out. I'm gonna perfect those throws. So next we've got, you can't see it from the title here because it's got the stupid Link Plus sticker, but next is Time Bandits. Time Bandits. When will we do Time Bandits? That's a good question. When will we do Time Bandits? We'll probably do it tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. Probably Monday. Monday would be a good day. Monday or Tuesday. Do Time Bandits. And then we got Tokyo Drifter coming and Branded to Kill. Tokyo Drifter, I just found out that Tokyo Drifter and Branded to Kill were actually reissued, so I just put holds on the new 2011 versions compared to the older 1998 versions that our system has. We have old crappy versions, you know. So I'm hopefully going to wait on that. So hopefully I can schedule my stuff around so that I can get to, I can get to that part. I get to those movies when they come in. Otherwise, I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, and as far as I'm still waiting on the 2012 version of Diabolique, so we'll get to those supplements probably Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Thursday or Friday, because it'll only be, hopefully it'll be just a couple of like video interviews or something like that. So won't be too much to do. Watch, and we'll get to those as soon as possible. So yeah, and that's all I got for you. It's a long one, so anyway, I hope you like the new room. Hopefully, we may switch back between the old room and the new room, but for now, this is gonna work. I think we'll find some new ways to review. We might start taking this on the road sometimes. Might go outside or figure out new ways to review. Anyway, but for now, this is the new station. So thanks for watching. You've been pretty cool, and until the next time, the Wages of Fear will kill you, and we'll do something else, I guess. No more spoilers. See you on Monday for Time Bandits. Goodbye.